Gary, an epic game of footy in round 12 as we got over the Box Hill Hawks by 16 points. Pleasing to be able to pull off such a spirited victory against what we know are always a quality opposition.
Yeah, it was, Sam, and obviously with the late changes in Toby and also too Shannon Lang not playing, and I think we touched on it a bit in the aftermatch, how many games between Port and Box Hill over the last probably 8 or 9 years anyway, and every year there's just a clinker of a game somewhere along the line. So we were very, very pleased. We've obviously had a lot of change, and I think for us to beat someone like Box Hill, certainly for our own, I guess, mental resilience, took a big step forward. We've probably been in positions like that at least 3 times before, and we've never been able to get over the line. So today we feel much better about ourselves because obviously we've won the match, and of course considering what quality opposition Box Hill are and still will be, it was pretty important in the context of the season also to get a win, and we're very happy.
Above being such a crucial win, and it helps us remain in the top 8 for now, do you notice a difference in the feeling around the group after a victory like that in terms of galvanising the boys, particularly the newer members of the group, because we must say that the win was achieved without our most experienced player in Toby, as you mentioned, and required a lot of different players to pick up the slack?
Yeah, and look, that's what we're obviously building towards, and I think it's important for everybody to see that when you look back on the game and you think young Matt Lee played his first game and he's 19 years of age, Mac Ravet's had a really consistent year, he's only 19, and of course then you look at young Tom Hobbs, he's only 19, young Josh Housel as well being only 19, so Guy Dixon's only 20, so there's some really good youth in there, and it's important for us to continue to build some sort of depth, because I think that's always meant that when we've had that quality of depth at both sides, seniors and development, have been pretty consistent and stable. And it was even great to see the development team win, because I think it's the first time in something like 10 years that the development team has actually beaten Box Hill. So that augurs well for where they've been over the last 5 or 6 weeks. But it's pretty important that we don't get ahead of ourselves. I know I'm a coach that's very, very hard to please, but certainly the mood after the game was very good. I know the boys enjoyed it Saturday night, and we obviously had another get-together on Sunday for Steve Allender and Sam O'Sullivan as well, and I've got no doubt from what I saw the boys were enjoying themselves again Sunday afternoon. So it's back to business today, and we've just got another quality opponent in Essendon to try and get over this Saturday.
And we mentioned Lee Osborne last week and what sort of role he might be able to play in the second half of the season. His effort in his first senior game for 2016 was fantastic, 20-odd possessions and 2 crucial goals. He certainly made an impact. And I guess Matt Arnott was another player who seemed to relish those conditions. He won plenty of the footy and was very hard around the contest.
Yeah, he did, and we'd like to think that that's a build for him too as well, because he's missed so much. And obviously Lee, it was really about just trying to get him in when we thought he'd done a bit from a match conditioning point of view. And look, there might have been other guys on Saturday who were probably better over 4 quarters, but I thought Lee was the one that really broke the game open, and he was probably the match winner with his 2 goals and a couple of other things he did in relation to bursting out of stoppages, and he's got a very long kick in relation to his left leg. So for us to see what he can bring to the table, we just want him to get some games under his belt now, and if it is that other guys miss, as we said with Toby and Shannon, well, other guys have to step up, and that's been a hallmark of this side for a long period of time. So again, great to win, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, and let's see what we can achieve in the coming weeks and try and build some momentum.
And you touched on the Development League, very special for us to mention them today. Their improvement has been just phenomenal over the past month, and their performances are in turn a huge factor in the fortunes of the senior side, because it keeps that internal pressure for spots fresh in all players' minds.
Yeah, well, that's what we always cry for here, and that's the internal pressure. And you probably go back to their round 1 game, and of course it was really, I think, 15 of their starting 23 were players that hadn't been here before. So that's not going to be an overnight thing, and they're just able to put, I guess, a sample of what they could show against the Northern Blues, and that was back in round 3. And just their last 6 weeks has been really solid, and it helps when you get some guys back who obviously have played a little bit of footy, and those guys can contribute to the cause. But yeah, if we're going to go anywhere, we need that, I guess, group, if you want to call it that, to continue to play well, and as you said, put that internal pressure on guys that are maybe just on the cusp at senior level. And if we have to make change, we'll make change. We saw that with Matty Lee. He obviously came in 3 weeks ago, and of course he gets a senior game and kicked the goal, and certainly in those conditions did a couple of nice things. So for us to continue to try players, we'll do that, because we just got to get the right mix, and hopefully that's when the whips are cracking later in the season.
And just quickly to finish, it's Essendon next. They're obviously a fellow top 8 aspirant, and it's another important clash as we aim to continue building that momentum.
Yeah, and it's an away game, and of course, obviously, with the way the ground conditions were on Saturday, it's probably not a bad thing that we go out to Windy Hill. So, for us to take on another top 8 side, if you want to build momentum and if you want to keep being the best, you've got to beat the sides that are around about you, because that's probably where they're going to be at the end of the season. And whether it's Essendon, whether it's Werribee, whether it's Sandringham, whether it's Willie, that's a pretty tough month. But all we can ever do is just take on one opposition at a time. And we had Coburg and we were able to get over the line there, and obviously Box Hill, similar fashion at home. So yeah, it's going to be a big game, and I'd like to see all our supporters get out there again. They're unbelievably loyal and supportive, and I know it's a TV game, but yeah, we'd certainly like to get a good number of Borough supporters out there for Saturday's game.
Well, Gary, thanks for your time as always. Enjoy the week to come and best of luck.
Good on you, Sam.